pushing the button so that people can actually see us. They can hear us, Ryan. All of a sudden,
hello, everybody.
There's something happening in here, Ryan. There's something.
I'm glad that your throat decided to wait until we were like just about ready to record a podcast together.
I wonder, is it nose? Like even my nose looks like a little more bulbous than normal. Maybe there's something going on. Should I blow my nose? I don't know. I already hit the button though.
Yeah.
We're already doing the thing.
We're already doing the thing. It's too late now.
And if I blow too hard, then nosebleeds happen. This is the danger.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you learn, Sean. That's how you learn. Apparently, you look very professional today, Senna.
Senna. Isn't that a character from Kingdom Hearts? That's Sora.
I don't know. I don't know enough about Kingdom Hearts to be able to answer this question.
Come on, RPG caveman.
Please.
You guys are
Sean,
RPG cavemen.
Sean, I have to throw this out there.
Going on the whiteboard.
I run. I can't even now tell you my crazy thing because you ran away. Sean just runs away at the most opportune times. I hope everyone is doing well today, by the way. Having a lovely, lovely, Wednesday afternoon. Hopefully it's not too hot in wherever it is that you're watching us from around the world. Sean's really putting in with this on the whiteboard. This is a real thing. It's thunderstorming here. I don't know what happened, but I'm not surprised Sean is out of the picture. Yeah, Locklith, Sean had to put stuff on the whiteboard. That's where he went. He had an idea so good. He had to immediately write it down, apparently.
We need a t-shirt. You and Garrett. The RPG caveman.
But, Sean, I just had to throw out a point there real quick in that, I run an RPG podcast, and even I don't care about Kingdom Hearts.
See, look what all of this. This is how beautiful the world is, Ryan. We're gonna have a new shirt called the RPG Caveman, all because Kevin spelled my name wrong. I linked the Senna to Sora, to Kingdom Hearts, to you saying you don't know what that is, to me saying, hey, let's just recount.
I know who Sora is. I don't know who Senna is from Kingdom Hearts. That's not even a character that exists.
No, I know. It's just amazing. It's just good stuff. I'm wearing Ryan, you should know this. I'm wearing shorts today.
Of course. Me too.
Yeah. I also have found my foot has been bothering me a little bit, so I was looking for like a tensor bandage. I was going to wrap my foot a little bit. I couldn't find it, but where I looked, I actually found like this kind of tapey stuff. It's kind of like it, but it was for the dogs. And I don't need like we don't have dogs anymore. So I'm like, well, I'll just use this. And it's got little tractors on it. Look how cute that is. So I've got adorable little like bandage on my foot, and I don't know if it's making any difference, but in my mind, it's helping.
I mean, as long as it's mentally helping, Sean, that's all you need to know. It's just like taking a placebo, right?
Exactly.
It's great because your mind thinks it's okay. Mm-hmm. It's doing work, so that's all that matters.
Exactly. Who knows? I don't even know if it's really hurt. Let's be honest. I don't even. What does that even mean?
That's true. So it could be anything at this point, Sean.
I don't know. Jose Jimenez, this is why I got the jacket.
Yeah.
Just before we went on, I was like, I'm a little cold, so I probably should get a jacket on.
Not that anyone would probably notice through the YouTube compression anyways.
Jose noticed.
Oh?
Yeah. I've been called out for showing a little.
I mean, even I've never noticed, Sean, but maybe I just don't. I'm not looking enough in that area of you that you'd notice, I guess.
I mean, I wouldn't blame you, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't feel like this is any better. I don't know what's going on. I've been talking a lot lately, Ryan.
Yeah.
Do a lot of podcasts.
You've been doing so many podcasts, Sean.
I'm like working to podcast. You would imagine I'm I'd notice. You know what I need to do, Ryan? You know what I actually need to do?
What?
Hey, wait, I'm not recording. Damn it. Oh, are you recording? I didn't hit the record button. Oh, I wanted to surprise you with it. I told
you like 5 minutes ago that I had started recording to hopefully remind you to make sure to press the record button, John.
Hey, everyone, it's me, Sean Capri. I'm glad you're here because you're listening to the most horsepowerful podcast on the internet. It's the Xbox Drive. I'm on a Skype call with my friend Ryan Turford, the caveman on the moose, and on our journey today. Sonic looks pretty good, and what happened to Design Labs, and there's a bunch of stuff that's got us all confused, so jump on into the Xbox Drive.
Greater than X.
Threw a little curveball at you today there, Ryan Turford, the RPG caveman on the moose. You're a weatherman. You're a man of all types, Mr. Ryan Turford. How are you doing, my friend?
She's taking away my dignity here, Sean. I don't know what you're doing to be here today. I mean, I guess this is my punishment for the Calgary Flames losing to the Edmonton Oilers.
They sure did, man.
In 5 games somehow.
Nailed it.
I don't know how the heck that managed to happen, but you know what, Sean? I have to give you props because, again, this is the first time we've been recording since it happened. And,
yes.
I mean,
it took a week.
I'm sorry, Sean. It took a week. I mean, last week when we were recording, it was, game 5 anyway. So it was pretty much like that night. It was pretty much over for us. But, I have to concede defeat, Sean. And now Sean officially has to somehow decide what game I'm going to be playing next somehow.
Kind of want to pick a caveman game now, Ryan. But I feel like you like Toe Jam and Earl. And wasn't there another, I'm trying to remember on Super Nintendo and Sega, there was another caveman. Maybe it was Toe Jam and Earl. Joe and Mac, that's the one I was thinking of. Yes, Joe and Mac. What do you think of that game? That's actually a good game, I think.
It's something. It's actually a quality game.
Yeah, I
mean, if you want me to play a really bad caveman game, John, you should have me play literal caveman games on the NES, which was essentially like a caveman play on the Olympics.
Okay.
And it was really terrible. It's got really bad controls, and the graphics are kind of terrible, and the music's really bad, and it's just a bad game.
Adventure Island. Chelsea loves Adventure Island.
Yeah,
Adventure
Island's great.
Yeah.
In fact, both Adventure Island and Caveman games used to be played a lot on a little show in Canada called Video and Arcade Top 10 on YTV.
That's actually, yes, YTV, of course.
Where they would play them competitively and the winners would win prizes. In fact, like, growing up, I always wanted to be on that show because if you won, what you could do is they basically had you go through like this McDonald's kind of play place essentially. Yeah. But it was lined with boxed NES games, and you were put in a suit with like Velcro straps on them, and then you would take the games from the walls and stick them on your arms and your legs and your helmet, and however many games you could stick to yourself out of the playpen, you would be able to leave with as you left the studio.
It's a good setup, Ryan Turford. I want to do a thing here because I'm sitting on a game that I think the deal is you either have to beat a game or play it for 10 hours. And I'm thinking I have one game in mind for you to play. So for those of you who are just joining us, 2 weeks ago we made a bet, Ryan Turford and I, on who was going to win the Battle of Alberta in the NHL, the Edmonton Oilers or the Calgary Flames. And of course, the Edmonton Oilers won. So I get to choose a game that I think Ryan thinks is terrible, and he has to play it either to completion or for 10 hours. And I'm sitting on in my mind right now, Sonic Spinball is the game that I want you to play. However, if somebody comes up with in the chat here, unfortunately, if you're listening on podcast services, you probably should show up at YouTube. It's going to be too late for you. But if anybody suggests a game that they tell me why Ryan should play it and why he'll hate it, I will give you a copy of KO the Kangaroo and I think Mini Golf Adventures. We have 2 games to give away to people who are live in the chat. We're going to want to do this more often, Ryan, I think. I think we have literally thousands of game codes for Xbox to give away.
I mean, Sean's not exaggerating. Literally thousands on a giant spreadsheet somewhere.
That's right. Somewhere.
Yeah. Also, I love Kevin just instantly jumping in the chat saying yes to KO the Kangaroo. But obviously, that's not going to be a game you're probably going to want to pick for me because that's apparently, from what I've read, actually not a bad game.
That is so funny because I was thinking I was going to give you that game to play. I read a couple of things about it. I'm like, that sounds too good for Ryan. Farming Simulator. That's a really good idea, Kato.
I mean, also, Court Lalonde points out Life of Black Tiger on PS4. Just so you know, Court, I've actually played that game.
Of course he has. Of course he has. Oh, Bee Simulator. Kato again with a great great suggestion.
Most disorienting game ever, apparently, from Kato. So,
10 hours of Bee Simulator, Ryan.
Now that we've talked about the playoffs, we should round out the playoffs talk because I got one surprise for you, Sean. Get ready for this because this outfit has been a bit of a ruse. Let me tell you what.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, no way.
Avs. Let's go,
real? Are you serious? Right? Okay, well, take the mic for a second. I cannot believe this.
For folks at home, I'm taking off my hoodie that I'm wearing because I have a Colorado Avalanche jersey underneath because that's who the Edmonton Oilers are playing next, folks.
I feel like I just got drafted. I just put a jersey over my collared shirt.
Yeah.
Okay,
do you love me showing up in a hoodie with a Corporal Gaming hoodie? And now to reveal, the Colorado Avalanche are totally going to take this.
Why would you do this to me?
Because I got to. I can't
believe you have that. Who's on the jersey? Do you have a number on it at all, or is it just a jersey?
It's a Patrick Waugh jersey.
That's a good jersey. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody's against me. They're like, jar this and boo Oilers. Like, where are my true friends here? Come on.
I mean, to be fair, Sean, the Oilers are not an easy team to cheer for because, no one likes the Oilers.
Oh, come on. To be fair, like, you're going to say something to make me feel better. I don't know what's going on with the hair.
Why would I? No, that's not how this works. You're making me play a terrible game because of a dumb bet I made. Because of my Calgary
I'm not making you do it. You signed up for the bet. You could have said no.
You're not wrong about that, but
you know what you're getting yourself into. You just didn't think you were going to lose. Okay, I think Farming Simulator might be in the lead right now. I think I'd like to see you play Farming Simulator.
I mean, the main thing is, Sean, I think we both can agree neither of us want the New York Rangers to win. That's all I care about.
I do. I would actually love to see Oilers and Rangers, just so you know.
We're on the literal opposite because I want to see Avs versus Lightning.
You just want terrible, like, acts of God to happen.
Yeah, kind of.
Lightning and Avil. Like, come on, man. Keep it safe. Goodness gracious.
Good Lord. Anyways, we talked about hockey enough, Sean. We should probably get the show going. So let's
Farming Simulator it is, Ryan. Farming Simulator on stream. I want to see it.
Anyways, we're going to clean the garage a little bit. So folks, if you want to support the show, there's a number of awesome ways to do that. Number one, if you're watching us right now on the live stream on youtube.com/carpoolgaming, don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't hit that subscribe button already. And ding, 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 ring that bell for notifications to be notified whenever we go live with any of our new videos or whenever we put them up. Also, if you're watching from last week's video, make sure to comment as well. If you have a questions for us, leave a comment for us as well, which, by the way, Sean, I totally forgot to put this in the document. So it's a good thing I'm talking this out in my head because we got a comment last week with a question on it that I'll pull up for a little bit later in the show. Also, if you want early access to this and all of our shows over on Patreon, head over to patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Throw a little tip in the old tip jar and out comes content, including some exclusive shows like the Geek Outs, like the Console War Room, and others. So check us out there. Also, if you're listening to us on audio feeds like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and whatnot, make sure to hit that subscribe button there if you haven't done so already, and maybe leave us a nice rating if you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify specifically. Also, we have a merch store, so if you want, like that Carpool Gaming hoodie I was wearing if you're watching the live stream, or an Xbox Drive t-shirt, head on over to our merch store. The link is in the show notes or the description of this video. And last but not least, Sean, in about a week and a half, we are going to be in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Yes, I said the whole thing because I do that.
Planet Earth, because solar system, local cluster. Keep going. Northern Hemisphere.
We're going to be in Toronto on June 12th, celebrating Xbox Fan Fest with our friends over at Xbox Canada. If you're in Toronto that weekend, specifically on the Saturday, because I think Sean's still trying to organize something for Saturday, please let us know if you'd like to meet up with us if you haven't done so already.
Yeah, man, that list is starting to I was talking to Anti Macro earlier today. I was talking to Jordan LaRose, talking to Nagachaka. Like, it's happening, man. I was talking to Brock McLaughlin last night. We're like, we're gonna have a spot for us all to go hang out. I can't believe this is happening. Like, this is actually gonna happen. We're all gonna touch. I'm like, I was talking to Steve Vevgari. I want to like sit next to him. I'm like, wait a second. I want to sit next to Ryan. I want to sit next to Court. I want to sit next to Daps, and I want to sit next to Brock and all these other dude. This is gonna be incredible. The world is not ready for this kind of matchup.
You can't literally sit next to everyone, Sean. But yes, the world is not ready for the epicness that's going to go down in a week and a half. I can't believe it's almost here, Sean.
Next weekend, dude.
Next week's show will be the last show we do before FanFest, which will be exciting.
Next week, I'll be coming to you, if I am coming to you live, maybe it'll be a Court Lalonde episode. We've got to figure this out. But I'm going to be in Kelowna, British Columbia next week. Then I'm going to fly home, and then I'm going to be out in Toronto for a couple days, for like 30 hours.
Exactly. But it'll be a good 30 hours, Sean. Well, without further ado, Sean, let's grab our 8 tracks, pop them in. It is time for the playlist. And I don't know if you played any games this week, Sean. So did you play anything?
Mine is blank, but it's the same as yours, actually, if I read the document correctly. That there Pac-Man Museum Plus business, Ryan. I meant to go play other games, but I played Pac-Man. And can I ask you a question about Pac-Man, like the original Pac-Man, the first one?
Of course.
Is that game like way harder than Ms. Pac-Man? Is there a difference between these two games? I feel like you would know this.
Well, there is a big difference in the way they play because Ms. Pac-Man's just it's a faster game.
Yeah.
And I do think it's probably a bit easier, but I don't think the easiness is meant by. I think it's just easier because Miss Pac-Man just moves faster through the environment than regular Pac-Man, so it's easier to evade the ghosts versus regular Pac-Man.
That would make it easier, yeah.
So yeah, it's a little bit easier, I'd say.
Because I'm struggling. I asked the question to say this. I am struggling with regular Pac-Man, dude. That game is kicking my butt. It's got like this game is wonderful and all the collections and everything, and it's got these great missions. Go clear 5 rounds. Yeah, easier said than done. I know you're probably already like completed everything at this point, but I'm sitting here like, I kind of want like an Atari. I need a joystick. Is again another example. I need to play Pac-Man with a joystick. I'm struggling with the controls. I'm struggling with Pac-Man and his, I don't know, he's like middle-aged and he's got some sort of like pot belly. Like, I don't know, Miss Pac-Man's a lot more agile. Where's Miss Pac-Man? I want to unlock Miss Pac-Man in this thing.
I mean, Miss Pac-Man's great. In fact, it's, in my opinion, the superior version of Pac-Man.
I think most people would agree.
Something like, because I think the only other Pac-Man game that I really, really love is Pac-Man Championship Edition DX. Which is on Xbox Live Arcade, which is backwards compatible. That game's amazing. That's like one of my favorite 360 games. But beyond that, like regular Pac-Man, it does feel a little bit sluggish, and it is definitely harder to go back to. And it's just a difficult game because you have to remember it's an arcade game. It was designed basically to eat your quarters.
Totally.
But also being addictive enough for you to continue to put quarters in it. So then you keep playing it and keep giving the game money.
That is exactly me. This game is kicking my butt. I'm like, I got to try it again. I meant to get over to, I'm about 2/3, almost 3/4 of the way through Rise of the Tomb Raider. I don't have anything new to say about that. But the game that is probably being overlooked that people should be playing, I think is what we're discussing right now. People owe it to themselves. I look at this, I look at Pac-Man, at least in like its core form, and like Tetris is like damn near perfect video games. Like these are just... They're so timeless too. Like we're going to get to the stage where we're celebrating 50, 100 years of damn Pac-Man. So I started with this because that's where the game forces you to start, but you do unlock more stuff. There's other versions of Pac-Man. There's stuff that will surprise people, I think, of the different iterations and perspectives that you see Pac-Man in. Yeah. It's pretty wild, man.
Yeah, there's 16 different Pac-Man games in all in this collection. And you actually have more than just Pac-Man the original to start with, because they basically give you this virtual arcade, which is kind of cool because you can totally customize it the way you want it to. And then each machine has like a couple of games kind of assigned to it, and then as you kind of play through the first game that's unlocked on each machine, you'll then unlock the other games that are on that machine. But one thing I noticed that I'm curious about how this is going to work eventually if you play this game enough is the coin system, because you essentially have to spend credits that you would spend on, customizing your arcade just to play all of the arcade versions of the games. There is like a free play cabinet that doesn't require credits. And it's all of the console games that came later, such as, Pac-Man Championship Edition or Pac in Time, stuff like that. Like a bunch of like Super Famicom games or PlayStation 1 games or GBA games are in there. And they don't require credits to play, and they'll actually give you credits if you play them. But I wonder what happens if you run out of credits. It's something that I haven't, come close to yet, because the game is very generous because it starts you off with 500 credits.
Yeah.
And there's no microtransactions for this game or anything like that. It is a paid game too, so it's not a free-to-play game, but it's on Game Pass.
Game Pass.
Is the reason we both checked it out. But I'm curious to know what happens when you run out of credits. What happens if you try and play some of these games, Sean?
You get some sort of like 256 error, and then the screen goes blank, and then it says "Get good." And then says goodbye. The whole thing shuts down.
Or it tells you to just go play Pac-Man 256 instead, which is...
Pac-Man 256 is excellent, and it is in there. And is that... Because this is like a new iteration of this museum collection. This isn't the first time we've gotten something like this, right?
Yeah, they've done a museum collection like this before on older consoles.
Yeah.
But it's the first time we've gotten it on like a modern console. Like
taking advantage of all the teraflops, Ryan.
Of course. But it's an Xbox One version. Like, it's not like an old.
Sure.
Like, it's not a Series X version or anything like that. But
256 is excellent. 256 is something people should play. It's a legitimate good game you can play on your phone. It's part of this collection, which just seeing it on the big screen again, like I've got achievements in Pac-Man 256 just on regular Xbox, so it's good to see here. I want to talk about achievements in just a second. But what was the side-scrolling one? Is it called Super Pac-Man, the one that's side-scrolling?
Yeah, so there's actually multiple side-scrolling ones, but Super Pac-Man is not actually. I think it's Pack and Pal and Pack in Time specifically are the two.
It's just not good, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't. This is, if you were there, you'll feel a little nostalgia. It kind of reminded me of Rare Replay in a way, where there's like 30 games, I think, in Rare Replay. And some of them are like, oh, it's interesting to see like where some of these games came from, but that's about it. And maybe if there
Like
was
Soul Jetman or something like that.
Which
like
one?
Or Jetman, or like one of the like Atari 2600 games that they have.
Right.
They've got
Well, yeah, and they even did like Super Jetman, which was awesome. Like that game, or like they did a modernized version of Jetman or Jetpack, whatever it's called.
Jetman.
Yeah, dude, like that was. Maybe I'd like to see a little bit of that with these Pac-Man things. But on that point, I think achievements could be better leveraged to encourage people to explore some of these games, because as I'm playing even just the first couple, and I'm reminded that these are arcade games built to steal all the quarters from my pocket, I'm like, they're hard. They're really difficult. And the achievements are also, I think, difficult to get. Like, you're not really getting too many gimmies here. You get a couple just for starting out, but after that, it's like, yeah, finish a couple missions. Well, the missions are hard, dude. They're pretty tricky.
I imagine like getting the 1,000 gamer score for this is going to take forever. Like, it's going
Only
to
the
take
Ryan
someone who's
Turfers
like
of the world.
seriously amazing at Pac-Man to get it, and then even then, it's going to take forever to grind all this stuff out.
I think Kevin from Project X Talk will probably get it.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. He gets all of them.
Definitely.
So. But either way, I think it's still worth checking out, even if you're not a huge Pac-Man fan. I think, again, it's on Game Pass, so if you got Game Pass, I'd say download it, and I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, man, definitely. I'm glad we both played. I'm glad we both highlighted it. I think people should definitely play it before. Dude, the other thing that's on the library I got to go get later on today is Dying Light 2. So
Nice.
we'll see. We'll see.
But you haven't even started Lego Star Wars yet from the library.
Dude, thanks for keeping track. Thanks for reminding me.
It just shows, Sean, that actually
the Oilers just keep winning. What can I say? The Oilers just keep on winning, and it takes me away from playing games as much as I would
pretty
like.
soon, if they keep playing like they did last night, Sean,
Damn.
This will be a problem you don't have to worry about.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oilers in 6. Oilers in 6. I said it on Twitter.
Avs in 5, Sean. Avs in 5. But as for me, I actually didn't play another game beyond Pac-Man, but I wanted to highlight something else real quick. And it's a little something I got in the mail, and it's the prop I went to go get before the show started. And that is my Xbox wireless headset.
Whoa!
So I got the Xbox headset itself. One of the reasons I really wanted this headset is because I've talked about it on the show before, but I'm really into 4K Blu-ray collecting. And as more and more games start to take the advantage of Dolby Atmos, combined with a lot of 4K Blu-rays, also taking advantage of 4K of Dolby Atmos as well for audio. I wanted a device that actually supported Dolby Atmos because I didn't want to go out and buy like a really expensive soundbar for that. Plus, since I have roommates, I don't want to have it be like super, super loud. So I think a headset works out better for something like that. And the Xbox wireless headset is pretty awesome. The battery life's great on this thing. I love like the volume range you have on it. It does sound a little tinny out of the box, but it has a full equalizer that you can customize on your Xbox itself. And then if you go into the Dolby Atmos app, you can then customize specifically a bunch of different profiles for whatever it is that you're watching, whether it's a movie or a game. And I love kind of the way, the Atmos audio basically positions the 3D audio kind of around you and how all that stuff works. So I'm really impressed with this device, Sean, especially because it's pretty cheap. Like, it's definitely cheaper than the headset I'm currently wearing, the SteelSeries headset that I'm wearing.
Yeah. Hundreds of dollars for the SteelSeries. What was the Xbox was like 130, I think?
Yeah, 130 Canadian.
Yeah.
So it's probably about 100 and just
I think
over
99.
US.
I want to say 99 is the US price.
Yeah.
What did you test drive on that? What was your first first go with it? What did you watch
my
or
first
play?
go with it, I have a 4K copy of Jaws with Dolby
Nice.
Atmos.
Okay.
So I pulled that out, and that was pretty incredible. And then I played some Halo with it, because Halo actually takes advantage of Dolby Atmos in a great way, like playing through the campaign.
Oh yeah,
was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Especially with the way that the bass rumble is in and stuff like that. Like, it just sounded awesome.
Totally.
And again, it's been a lot of just watching movies. And like, I have the Universal Monsters collection, which somehow is mixed in Dolby Atmos, and it sounds amazing. Or even just playing games. It's been a lot of fun. So I only got this a couple of days ago. I'll talk about it more in the future if there's more to say, but I think it's a solid recommend if you're looking for a headset itself like on a budget, but also you're looking for something that takes advantage of Dolby Atmos, because I think this really does the trick, and I think it sounds great.
And comfy as well. Like comfort is a huge.
Oh, yeah.
I have these massive headphones, but they're the most comfortable things I've ever worn. It's a huge reason I don't really wear anything else. So that's always top of mind for me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, when you're watching a movie or playing a long game, like I never felt like I needed to take them off or anything like that because I was uncomfortable. And also I love too that how, the volume dials are on the sides and you just rotate it like this.
Oh, it's an actual rotation. I thought it was just like touch control. Rotation. Oh, that's cool. So you feel it twisting.
Yeah, exactly. So you have like a really good sense of control rather than, having to fiddle around with a wire like this one or, fiddle around with some buttons on the side of the headset. So
nice. Yeah, I've got some really good like Sony headphones that are more like not gaming headphones, they're just whatever, home audio kind of stuff. And they've got fancy features on the side, but I'm like, I don't know what I'm touching. It's like it's touch controls. I don't know what's going on. So I don't even end up bothering with it. I'm too old, Ryan. It's too fancy for me. Are you good on that? I wanted to jump to something else before we go into whatever's next.
No, we're good.
You mentioned Halo, and I'm like, dude, we played Halo. We played the new. We played the new thing that we grabbed so much land, Ryan. We played the new mode, land grab, of course, which is basically like grab a couple control points around the map. And dude, I think that this mode is awesome. I don't know if I'm hearing enough people talk about this thing. People are too busy saying that Halo was dead, and I think land grab is awesome. It's got this whole like, you start the game and everybody's fighting over these control points and they come in 3. And so usually it's you'll get like the first 2 right off the bat, which leaves the third one up for grabs, and then it's just chaos from then on. It's very, very fast, I think is the way that I would describe it. And I think it just jives with pretty much every map that I played it on, to be honest with you. I'm really, really stoked that this is a new mode that they've created that actually jives with me.
Yeah, I actually thought it was more fun because I don't typically like modes like this one where you're capturing points specifically. Like that's not something I've really been into, whether it's domination or King of the Hill or something like that.
Yeah.
But I thought this one was fun enough where essentially you're for folks that don't know what this mode is, basically each team is there are 3 points on the map, and each team is trying to control 2 of the 3 points. And once you take one, it's permanently yours, and then you basically fight over the last one. And then each team is awarded points based on how many you actually captured, and then it resets them and then basically points the points, somewhere else on the map. And you continue to do that until, someone reaches 11 points.
Yeah.
I actually liked that mode though. I thought it was fun. I thought the games went super fast. There were a couple times where, it almost felt like sudden death towards the end, Sean, but for the most part, I actually thought it was fun as well. I don't think it's, the most amazing mode, but I personally just think I'm not the, the person who's really always into these type of land grabbing modes. I just personally prefer, stuff like Team Slayer versus stuff like this. But I did have a lot of fun when we played on Halo Saturdays this Saturday over at twitch.tv/Sean Curry.
Well, who knows what's going on with the Oilers this week. But I just wanted to give it a quick shot. I don't know that there's really a whole heck of a lot more to really say about it, but I'd rather play that than capture the flag. I'll tell you that much. Yeah. And I do think it's one of the better versions of that style of King of the Hill or domination or whatever. I'd rather do this. It just seemed a little bit more chaotic and stuff. The fact that you permanently capture that spot, that point, and then you kind of move on, and it can get a little hectic. And we also had a couple of like those moments that you really hope for and you live for in multiplayer, of like these swings where you think somebody is dominating, pardon the pun, but then you kind of have somebody kind of take over and you get a couple quick 3 points and then you're back in the game. Like that's what it's all about. And people, what I like about this, as opposed to, not that I dislike Team Slayer or Slayer, is that if you're not like a sniper, you can still contribute in these kind of games. Like there's still a way for you to participate, which is I think why games like Overwatch are so successful, or Splatoon and things like that. So it's important for there to be other types of modes like this to exist within Halo. But that's it for me.
Absolutely. Well, let's slam the brakes on this conversation, Sean, because it's time for some breaking news. And we got an interesting batch of news this week. Starting things off with an announcement we just got this morning, because Maka over on Twitter had noticed last night that the Xbox Design Labs page had gone down for maintenance. And usually when it goes down for maintenance, it's usually because they're adding something to it. And they kind of hinted that, something new is coming on the way, essentially with the Design Lab store going down. We found out what that was this morning because Xbox announced their new limited edition Pride controller design will be available on June 9th as part of a new Pride Design Labs controller design. Now, originally last year, Xbox usually does a Pride design every single year, but they usually don't sell that design. They usually only send it to like LGBT content creators and Xbox players specifically, and they do it like it's a very limited kind of giveaway kind of thing, as opposed to it, making it a big thing for sale essentially. But there was a bunch of super feedback from last year where people really wanted to get their hands on this controller to kind of help support the cause. So Xbox decided, okay, we're going to put this up on Design Labs, and then a certain portion of that is going towards LGBTQ charities, which I think is pretty cool.
No doubt.
And Xbox usually kind of goes all out with Pride Month, because we also got some more Pride stuff coming all throughout the month, including new nameplates and emblems for Halo Infinite, a 2009 Pagani Zonda Roadster in rainbow colors, as well as a whole bunch of merch store on the Xbox merch store. So you're getting something in Forza, you're getting something in Halo for Pride Month, and then there's a whole bunch of Pride merch to go check out. And again, same deal. You can go on the merch store, and they're putting a portion of that towards charities as well, which I think is pretty awesome.
It's awesome. Like, this design is incredible. It's not just it would be fine if it was just a rainbow on the control. Like, this is amazing. This is something that I think, regardless of how close to the cause you are, I think you'd want this. So hopefully they actually, I don't know if they've said it's only available in June. I'm not seeing it.
I didn't see anything about how timed it is, but I would imagine with most of the Pride stuff on the merch store, that's usually June only.
Dude,
so
that
I'd
is
imagine
awesome.
It's probably June only too.
I love it so much. I don't really need another Design Labs thing. I've already got one with the Xbox Drive one that we've built, and people can we call it, what do we call it? The rubber?
Yeah, that's the design people like, Sean.
Yeah, that's what we called it, the rubber. So that's something else. But dude, the design of it actually looks really great. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Did you already mention Tell Me Why? Did you talk about that already?
That was the thing I was about to mention. So yes, Tell Me Why is also available as a free download for anyone in the month of June. And in fact, you don't have to download it this month. You just have to go and claim it, and then it's yours forever. So
not even a Game Pass thing.
Because it's not on Game Pass. So you got to go grab it from the store now. But it's free. And it's a great game, because Sean and I both loved it as well. So make sure if you haven't grabbed Tell Me Why yet, grab it now. It's a Life is Strange style game from the makers of Life is Strange. So I definitely encourage you.
I love it. And the only other thing that I'll say about this is, I talk to Mr. Badbit about this quite often too. And I think there's a bit of a frustration in community, and certainly something that him and I have talked about, where it's like, you got to do more than just change your profile picture online to a rainbow. Like, you got to do a little bit more to really be part of this month, and I'm really happy to see Xbox do this. This is something that people can get genuinely excited about. It's them doing, obviously quite a bit more than we just put a rainbow on our Twitter profile. So I think it's awesome. Project X Talk in the chat says, I grabbed it this morning. The game. So I'd be curious to know if anybody in the community is planning on picking up one of these controllers. And even if you're not, we know we have a lot of people listening and watching the show who don't even have an Xbox, but probably have PCs as well. Like, it works with PCs as well. So I definitely recommend people checking out Design Labs, because this is something all platforms should do. You should be able to customize completely your PlayStation controller, your Nintendo controller, but Xbox does it, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is a great incentive, and the controller looks amazing, to your point. So yeah, I'm very glad it'll be up on the 9th. So definitely go and check it out. But next up, Sean, the following games are coming to Game Pass. Of course, it's the beginning of the month, so we got our beginning of the month Game Pass drop, including For Honor Marching Fire Edition. That's out today. We knew that was coming because they announced that a long time ago. But then we're also getting the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection. That's available tomorrow on June 2nd. And then Assassin's Creed Origins on June 7th, which again was previously announced. But what's interesting about this, Sean, I don't know if you knew this, in the document on Xbox Wire, they mentioned that the deluxe content from the deluxe edition of the game is actually going to be included as a free perk for Game Pass.
That's crazy.
So you can actually claim it as a Game Pass perk, and it'll be in your collection forever, even if you buy the game after it leaves Game Pass.
That's awesome. And what a huge amount of content on that. That's no joke, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then on June 7th as well, we're getting Chorus, which is a game I know that you enjoyed, Sean.
Big time.
Because you checked that out before. Mm-hmm. As well as Disc Room and Space Lines from the Far Out. So all those are coming on June 7th, and they specifically said on the blog, hey, by the way, this is even close to us being done for the month, because seriously hinting at that like bigger things are coming this month to Game Pass. So
you think maybe like on the 12th, maybe they'll announce something?
Maybe
June 12th.
Maybe, Sean.
Yeah,
maybe, there might be something going on that day, Sean.
Little Game Pass showcase, dude. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. For Honor is perfect for Game Pass in that people, I think for the most part, will have their arms crossed, their minds closed to a game like that. Game Pass allows you to try games that you never would try before. They had a really good trial before the game launched, and as it was launching, that game is actually pretty decent, man. People owe it to themselves to at least check it out. And yeah, just another good example of great variety coming from Game Pass. I don't know if anybody's like pushing over furniture to go play these games, but yeah, a really good collection. I've played most of the games that I'm interested in on this one. So instead of me going like, I can't wait to play these games, it's me just like amplifying. No, Assassin's Creed Origins changed everything for me. I was so not an Assassin's Creed person before that game. That game is awesome. For Honor, you owe it to yourself to play that game. These games, I think it's a good collection right now.
I think I should find time to carve time for Sean to play Ninja Gaiden Master Collection.
I want to,
because if there's one game that will make Sean pull his hair out because of how hard it is, it's Ninja Gaiden Master
Pac-Man.
Collection.
Apparently, it's Pac-Man.
No,
is this the first time it's coming to Xbox? Oh, wasn't this exclusive elsewhere before, or was it on Xbox before this?
So originally, these are it's the trilogy of Ninja Gaiden Sigma games, which were remakes of the original 2 Ninja Gaiden games on the original Xbox and Xbox 360
What's
respectively.
The simple answer to the question, Ryan? What is the simple... Did this title, as I'm saying the title, did it exist on Xbox before?
So the Master Collection itself was on Xbox before.
Oh, okay.
But the games included were PS3 exclusive originally.
Got it. Okay. That's what I was after.
But I mean, to be fair, these are the inferior versions of these games. If you want to play the Ninja Gaiden games, just play Ninja Gaiden Black on backwards compatibility.
That's what I remember you saying before.
They're way better. But this is not terrible anyways. It's on Game Pass.
It's free on Game Pass.
But the following games are leaving Game Pass on June 15th, Sean.
Hang on. Breaking news in the chat. A Plague Tale Requiem out now, announced 6/12.
I don't think that's breaking news. I think that's just Kevin basically predicting that a Plague Tale is coming.
Oh, I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay, my bad. I just got a little excited about a game that I didn't think anybody cared about.
No one's excited about.
On the predictions episode, nobody cares about that game. Kevin, stop bringing it up. Sorry, you keep going. I'm done interrupting you.
And the following games are leaving on the 15th. We got Darkest Dungeon, Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance, Greedfall, Limbo, and Worms Rumble. So if you want to play those games or get them at a discount, grab them now. Maybe not Dark Alliance because that game's really bad, but the rest of these are actually pretty good games. Like Darkest Dungeon in particular. That game's
Limbo's my pick out of those ones. And it goes on sale all the time, either on its own or as a combo pack with Inside.
Yeah, exactly. Well, next up, Sean, this is an update I've been waiting for forever. The June Xbox update has revealed that while it will mostly contain stability improvements, it will also feature a long requested feature, being able to reveal secret achievements on the console. Thank God.
This is the advancement we've been waiting for on achievements.
This is something that Ryan Turford has been waiting for ever since the Xbox One came out, because I don't get me wrong, I don't mind the idea of having secret achievements to kind of hide story spoilers, but if I'm far enough in the game, or if I don't care about that, I should be able to just look on what achievements I'm missing on the console, because some of these games that release on Xbox are just all secret achievements, like Danganronpa.
Yeah.
And you can't see what any of them are. You got to go to a website to go look at that. But then you can't really tell like which ones you've unlocked and which ones you haven't without like going through one by one on a list and then comparing with the website. It was a mess before. So this is something that PlayStation's been doing for forever on PlayStation 4 with trophies, and I'm so happy we're finally getting this feature on Xbox. For achievement hunters, I think this is a big deal. So I'm excited for this being actually a thing.
The reason for my kind of downing it a little bit is I think many of us have been saying and thinking that achievements could be using a little bit of a boost, a little shot in the arm, something to take it up a notch, because it's basically been the same. Like for the most part, it's been the same since the 360 days. There's not really been a whole lot that's been changed. And I just feel like PlayStation has it beat on this front. I think trophies are like, I don't know, people might shoot me for this, but I think trophies are way better than achievement points on this. And I think there's an opportunity. Like, the only reason we even have trophies is because Xbox invented achievement points. So, like, take it up a notch again. Like, I think this kind of stuff matters. I wish Nintendo would do it even just to, like, if Nintendo had achievements like Xbox has, that would be awesome. But I don't know. I think there's an opportunity to be better than what we've got right now.
Yeah, for sure. All right, last news story that we got to talk about it because it's on the thumbnail and on our title. Sonic Frontiers got a new trailer because IGN is apparently doing preview coverage all month as far as, you know, they're doing an IGN first all month for Sonic Frontiers with interviews and with the developers and stuff. So they released a trailer yesterday on Twitter. And actually, as soon as I watched the trailer, Sean, I took to the Discord immediately and was like, I think I'm the first person who's going to say this in this Discord. But I think Sonic Frontiers actually looks like it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude.
And we both agreed there. But then, Sean, did you have a chance to check out the 7-minute gameplay demo that went up this morning?
No, I didn't. I mean, I knew that they were going to do
like
everything
an hour before we started recording.
Yeah,
so,
dude, that's awesome. Oh, I can't wait to check it out.
So the reason I bring that up is because on the internet, there's a wide variety of emotions as to how people feel about this. Some people are saying this game looks incredible. Some people say this game looks like trash, and it's all over the place with this game.
Oh, wow.
I'm personally in the camp, though, where I think this game looks really promising. It basically looks like it's bringing in, like, the puzzle aspects of Zelda and then some of the collection stuff from Mario Odyssey, and then jamming into one game featuring Sonic, essentially, as he kind of goes around this environment. The one thing that people were kind of upset about with the gameplay demo, the 7-minute demo, is there was no combat in the demo. So even though we saw combat in the little small teaser trailer that we got yesterday, Sean, we haven't really seen combat in action, so we have no idea how that works. And then a lot of people were also saying too, the environment, you know, seems kind of empty, and the graphics were not, you know, incredible, like they weren't, you know, genre defining. But
can I throw something out there? And I feel like maybe I'm channeling a little bit of like Donnie Reese on this. Like every now and then there's a complaint or a comment about games that like you've never heard before, then it shows up, and then it's like every game is like this, and like every game is a PS2 game and whatever. Like the empty world is the thing that I keep hearing over and over and over again, and it's like, dude, I'm looking at Sonic right now. Just I'm checking out this thing on Twitter, and it's just like him looking at a field. Like, what do you want in that field? Do you want like a bustling town and a village and all this other stuff? Like, give him some space to run around. I think it's actually like, does it fit? You might be right. Is the world empty? But does it actually make sense? And does it facilitate the gameplay? Like these reductionist comments drive me crazy, Ryan. This looks.
You literally actually said pretty much word for word because what Mike Minotti over at GamesBeat said on Twitter this morning, because he saw the trailer, basically said the same thing. He's just like, I don't know why people were saying that, especially like why people are concerned about it being empty.
Yes,
it's a dumb combat, especially too with Sonic, because he moves so fast. So
no
you
kidding.
probably don't want it to be overcrowded with enemies anyways. Like some enemies, sure, but not like you don't want it overcrowded with enemies because of how fast Sonic traverses through the environment. Like it makes sense. Like I think it makes more sense for a game with Sonic in particular to be more puzzle oriented versus combat oriented with a game like this.
And you know me, I've been much more of a fan of 3D Sonic than 2D Sonic. Again, I'm looking at this, it's straight gameplay. Like it's not like cuts of this, it's him kind of like climbing up this big tower. I think this looks, I need to look more into it. I've literally watched as long as we've been talking about this thing. This is what I want from a Sonic game. This is what I want from 3D Sonic.
And again, lots of people I'm also seeing lots of, again, positive people out there. Donnie Reese in particular, Sean, as you pointed out, also is someone who seems like he's a big fan of this one too, as well as us. So I'm personally excited about this one. I think there's still like more polishing on the graphics they need to do, maybe, but we don't know how.
It looks pretty good though. Like you put this up against like
there's a lot of pop in though and stuff like that.
Sure,
but I think that's just I think it's an earlier build. So
put it next to Breath of the Wild. Put Sonic next to Mario and Link. You know, this looks way better.
Yeah. We won't judge it until the game comes out, but I think this looks awesome. So I can't wait to see more of this game.
I have so much anger. I have so much anger.
I'm actually regretting dropping it in Fantasy because to Kevin's point, he actually asked in the chat, do you think this is actually coming out this year? I 100% think this is coming out in October.
Oh, snap.
This is when I think it's coming out. If you can lock it in right now, Ryan's prediction of the week, Sonic Frontiers comes out in October. That's just what I'm guessing. Because they're making this big push now because I think they're really positioning it for later this year. And I think like at the end of IGN's coverage, that's when they'll announce the release date at the end of the month. Unless they'll announce it during like Summer Game Fest or something like that. That's also a possibility. But yeah, I think it's coming out this year, and I think it'll be good. So, which is why I'm regretting dropping in Fantasy.
Sonic can, God damn it! Sonic can take advantage of the power of Xbox and PlayStation. Nintendo has still got their mascots on their underpowered stuff. Like this is what we need from Sonic. It can actually take it. I mean, it used to have like blast processing as well, I suppose. But still, this is the chance. I'm here for it, man. I'm here to fight for Sonic, and you know how I feel about Sonic. Mediocre at best on most days. So to have me this excited about it, I'm here for it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited to see more of this game. I'm just hoping, the final product kind of makes it there. Because again, we know the quality's been very inconsistent for 3D Sonic titles, and I hope that they're able to pull this one out.
Look at the waterfall!
I think we both agree. I think this is a good direction for Sonic to go.
Definitely.
Versus something like Sonic Forces or something like that. But anyways, let's let some of our friends into the car with us, Sean. It's time for the carpool to round things out. We're going to start with TPR, who asked a food-related question yesterday on the Nintendo Drive and returns. Another food-related question. He asked, what would Master Chief order on his pizza? So, Sean, what do you think Master Chief, if he was to order a pizza, what would he order?
Oh, man. I think meat lovers. I think he's going all the sausage. I think meat...
Yeah.
I think Master Chief loves the Italian sausage, some pepperoni, all that kind of stuff. Ground beef. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I think he gets pepperoni and cheese, but he also gets some sliced moa as well. Now, moa, Sean, in case you forgot, they're the birds from Halo Reach. And remember, I don't know if you remember this, but when Halo Reach was coming out, there were certain fast food chains that were partnered with Microsoft, and they were making moa burgers, with a tie-in with Halo Reach. So you get some moa meat and throw it on there, Sean.
That was unnecessary tie-in back then. It's an unnecessary tie-in right now. The other thing that I'll say, too, he definitely gets pineapple on his pizza.
Yeah.
Meat lovers plus pineapple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even though pineapple on pizza is a sin, Sean, I still think that it's a thing. But we also got Eric Cave on the YouTubes, and I almost missed this comment, so I apologize, Eric, because he just put it up there, less than a day ago on last week's episode. He was actually mentioning, and actually, I think we might have time to read the whole thing real quick. So he says, "Hey guys, I fell off for a while with the renaming of the channel and a few other things, but I really enjoyed today's show. I much appreciated your blasting of Kotaku's comments about Game Pass.
Yeah,
I can't stand it when people in the gaming industry forget that not all of us spend all of our time playing AAA games when it comes to Game Pass. The past 2 dry months of Game Pass have been awesome for me. I loved Guardians of the Galaxy, Far Changing Tides, Telling Lies, and the Top Gun DLC, which apparently no one wants to review, Sean, for some reason.
I sent it a comment to Fantasy Critic, by the way. We'll try and get that sorted out.
Thank God, Sean.
Yeah.
Thank you specifically to Ryan for being able to see and state that even though this service is not your thing enough to maintain a subscription all the time, that is still very valuable to the players. So my question for this week's show is, what hidden gems on Game Pass would you recommend everyone try?
Ooh.
Try to come up with something truly hidden. Mine is Art of Rally. It got some attention when it came out, but it was quickly overshadowed by Forza Horizon 5, and I have had few gaming experiences like the first few hours of playing this game. The gameplay, graphics, and music synced perfectly to be in an awesome place of pure joy. So I think this is a tough question to go with, Sean, with Game Pass, because I think because Eric's looking for something that's truly hidden, and I just don't think that for the most part, out of anything I've played on Game Pass, there isn't anything truly hidden that no one really knows about, or hasn't talked about at some point. I mean, for me, I would probably say a game that deserves more attention that's getting a sequel pretty soon is AI the Somnium Files, which is on Game Pass. I think that's a really excellent detective game.
I think that counts.
Yeah. I mean, but it's not a hidden gem because again, it's a popular enough game where I wouldn't file it under what Eric's kind of talking about here. But it's the closest to what I probably have as an example. So I'm going to go to you, Sean. What do you think?
I'm looking for, I thought Dodgeball Academia was on here. I'm just wanting to confirm that before I say that.
X-Talk in the chaps confirms that it is, and he says it deserves more attention.
Yeah, that is, that game is very cute and very stylized, and different definitely deserves people's attention. I think is one thing. Descenders is another cool game that, again, you're right. This is a tough category to fill of like, how unknown do you want? Like, people probably know about Descenders, but maybe it's just underplayed is kind of the angle that I'm taking at this point.
Yeah. Same. That was where I was going with it too. But yeah. So, and also, I'm going to throw it out there. I mean, I just don't think enough people play the Ninja Gaiden games, because I think people who like Souls games would love those games, and they just have never played them because they just don't like ninjas for some reason. So there you go. Play those games as well. But anyway, Sean,
ninjas.
We got to get going. But before we go, Sean, plugs go.
Limbo is also not a oh man, there's so many good games in here, man. I feel like I didn't do that question very good. You can find me on Twitter and on Twitch. Maybe I'll have another suggestion over there. Sean Capri, Sean like Connor, Capri like the pants, and keep buying our merch. People are buying, like, honestly, it's almost on a daily basis. People are buying at least a little something. So it's very cool. Tag us when you get your shipments in, and my stuff is on the way. It's taking a little while. But that's it for me, my friend.
Very nice, my friend. As for me, you can find me on Twitter at Ryan Turford. You can find us on Twitter at Carpool Gaming, on YouTube at youtube.com/Carpool Gaming, on podcast services around the globe. So for Sean Capri, I'm Ryan Turford. This has been episode 243 of the Xbox Drive, and we out. Bye.
There's so many great games on Game Pass, and people don't really play Quantum Break enough, and I probably think that they don't play. Project Wingman is a really good hidden gem that people don't know anything about. You want to ignore Skatebird and check out all the other things we do at Carpool Gaming. Okay, bye.